The cost to fly in America is ridiculous.
Yes, and it will get much, much worse in 2025 and 2026 because you guessed it, this is all about the 2020 effect. So let's go ahead and chat about it. So do you remember back in 2020 when there was like these massive layoffs between the airport services and the airlines, and it affected all type of occupations inside the travel industry? This was like pilots, maintenance staff, and of course flight attendants. So of course this is what we're seeing right now. We are still short staffed inside the travel industry, and because of those massive layoffs that happened back in 2020, your flight has increased in price because there's less staff and less available flights for you to take. Another thing that also happened is that back in 2020, a lot of these airlines, because they couldn't operate at full capacity, they started restructuring and they cut a lot of their long haul flights in half. That's why you cannot find the great prices you used to find back in pre-pandemic times. I've been traveling consistently internationally for the last 15 years of my life, and I was one of those people who used to travel 8, 9 times a year, at least two international spots. I'm the type of person who used to do the itineraries, to do the research, to do with points. So I was all up in that game. And I've seen the difference, the drastic difference when I used to travel pre pandemic times and post pandemic times. I have still not been able to find any similar price to what it was before 2020. And I've noticed the increase in prices, and the prices have been double, and I will say like more than triple, especially domestically. Plus, we have the issues with inflation, plus this big issue with the Boeing planes, which has been like scary as hell. We are definitely living in such different times. I really do miss pre-pandemic times when travel was accessible, it was safer, and it was easy to do. But now it has changed and is such a different beast. It's interesting to see how we're going to adjust to this. Although I see and I use other things to forecast what's going to happen, I do foresee in 2025 the prices to go even higher, especially domestically. I feel in combination this issue with like accessibility of people flying like we used to, plus the issue with tourism across the globe, that it had become so accessible that everyone was able to fly anywhere. uh, a lot of countries are closing out sites because the amount of tourism that we are getting on a global scale. So I think we are shifting in a way that global travel might become like it used to be back in the 1950s. It's going to be very expensive. It's going to be very unique. You might be able to travel, but you might need a lot of money to do so. Like it used to be. Like it used to be very elite before, if that makes sense. So I think there's a shift in a global scale in how we travel. Um, I'm not sure how I'm feeling about this. And I wanted to ask you if you were a traveler before, like myself, if you've seen a difference, a contrast, how are you thinking things are going to move in the travel industry for us that used to travel so much? Let me know your thoughts in the comments because I think we're moving in a way that we're going to the extreme because everything was so accessible, it's not going to become as accessible as it was before.